Oh no, Shaper Sound is now doing clickbaits because he's saying that this guitar pedal is a synthesizer. Bear with me, don't judge the book by the cover. Hi and welcome to the channel. This is Ghosts by Kinotone, a multi-effects unit, a synthesizer, a drum machine or a looper. I don't know how to define this thing because it is so packed with features that it reminds me more one of those children workstation. But far from a toy, this thing sounds really good. And it carries a lot of potential for live performances or to create very unique timbres. And the reason why I'm having the manual in front of me is because for this one I really need it. As in many synth designs of the analog era, this thing has so many deep dive menus that I have to constantly have the manual in my hand to remind me what the knobs are doing and what do they mean. Look at this. It's called Hidden Layer. I'm serious. But before I tell you everything that this thing can do, I think that I need to explain myself. The core idea of this device is resonance. The phenomenon in which when you vibrate a certain object made of a certain material, at the specific frequency that the object itself vibrates when you pluck it or hit it with a mallet, due to a constructive interference, the object will start to vibrate itself, amplifying or resonating with the initial vibration. So this is a very complicated shimmer, is this what you were saying? Not exactly, because Ghosts has hardware dedicated to calculate 3 distinct resonators engine, one simulating strings, the other a pipe, and the third a marimba. And this idea in itself, it's very creative and inspiring. This is what you just saw in my jam. All the harmonic content you hear there is generated by Ghosts, while I am knobbing it to the audio input of the TR8S, which is exciting the resonators while I change the harmonies in which I want them to resonate to my drum machine. The reason why I'm calling this unit a synthesizer, it's not only because you can plug a MIDI cable to it. This is not new for a guitar pedal, but the thing is, Ghosts has 3 different synth engines, and it's hard to define if it is a effect section or modulation section that you can apply on top of the sound sources, and this creates a whole soundscape, very ethereal, hence the name Ghosts. But right now I have a keyboard plugged into it via its MIDI port, which will bypass most of its harmonic controls, but I just wanted to show you what I'm talking about. So now when I'm controlling this unit via MIDI, I have 6 voices of polyphony, and right now I'm using the tube resonator. But this thing also simulates a marimba. And strings, more like guitar strings than a string section of an orchestra. And And as you can see, you can knob this unit to very interesting sweet spots. Here I'm using the filter. And within the deep dive menus of this unit, you have a high pass filter and a low pass filter that you can choose from, but also the decay of every note. But just to give you a glimpse of this unit working more as a synthesizer, far from being a full demo of all the features that is packed under this form factor, let me show you some of the crazy effects. This unit has a very lush, good tasting reverb. On top of all of that, Ghosts also has a granular engine, an endless looper, a drum machine, yes, a drum machine, and maybe one of my favorites, a Shepard shifter. You might be thinking now, why these effects? And well, the answer lies on the base idea of this effect unit, that you have the physical emulation of these resonators. The way I'm actually playing it now, I'm taking control of the resonators as if they were sound sources. And I want to show you a little bit how this effects works in the MIDI mode, because when you throw an audio input through the unit, the only thing you can hear is the rich harmonic content that it generates, pretty much like in the intro that I showed you. And I tested this unit with different instruments, and pretty much like Kinotone says, one of the funniest way to excite resonators is actually a drum machine. And this is exactly what you saw on my intro jam. Let me show you real quick all these effects. So you select the different effects here with a combo of knobs, holding the layer button and pressing real quick the touch foot switch. So this, for instance, now is configured to be a drum machine, so that when I engage the pedal and press the touch button, you can hear the different rhythms. Is this an emulation of a 909? I can also control my rhythm speed. But the main reason for the drum machine, like I said, is to excite the resonators. And this is when things starts to get interesting. But this is one of my favorite effects, combined with a harmonic content, the Shepard shifter, which is that illusion that the sound is always raising in pitch, upwards or downwards, depending on how you configure it. Let me show you a little bit the taste of it. As you can see, I can knob this thing the whole day. There are so many sonic opportunities. Let me show you a little bit about the granular effect as well, in context of the pure resonators being controlled by a MIDI controller. this is just me playing with MIDI controlling the sound sources of this device, and that's what I mean. There is a whole synth hidden inside this unit here. There are now many videos on internet showing how this pedal works with the sound sources, and I want to show you a few examples, but I'm far from exploring all the potentials here, like for instance the looper or how can you interact with a contact mic, but I'll try to demo to you everything I tested, and what I wanted to try is to knob this thing here with some happy accident machines that has this percussive characteristic to it, because this is where I think this unit will thrive.